Hey folks, we are back, and that's from yesterday. I'm your host, BKP. Sorry about the brief delay. It's 8:01. Just trying to get a lot of things prepared. Long day today here on the broadcast. You're watching FYN. You've tuned in to FYNTV.com. FYNTV.com, and please don't feel free to contact the show 706-889-9700 or email us chief@fetchernews.com and at FYNTV. Follow us on Twitter at Fetcher News. Also join or subscribe to our YouTube channel, FYNTV Fetcher News. Now, let me tell you what we have going on today. Our lineup. We have our first 30 minutes that we're going to break down and look at a couple details about the circus that has come to town, the circus that has come to America, the exposing of the Democrats for who they really are. We've had so many things in the past that we felt this will expose the American people how ridiculous, evil, lying, just on and on that these people are, and what extent they will go to try to destroy this country. So we're going to go into that. We're going to break that down. Then at 8:30 we will have Carla's Corner, and love having Carla's Corner in here at 8:30. At 9 o'clock we will go back to the Destruction of America segment with discussing the Christine Blasey Ford testimony today, and Brett Kavanaugh, Judge Brett Kavanaugh, the Honorable Judge Brett Kavanaugh will do that. And then at 9:40 we're going to go away because we're going to bring you live. You don't have to leave FYN TV. You don't have to leave our YouTube channel. We are going to bring you live today's circus. The circus is going to come to town right on our channel. We're going to bring that to you. The Christine Blasey Ford testimony today to the Senate Judiciary Committee along with Brett Kavanaugh. So that's where we're at. Now, I know you may not like my humor sometime, but see if you can name this tune. Okay, let's just have a little bit of humor before we start the day. For those that think it's maybe in bad taste, let's do it just for you out there. Let's go to number 7, Josh. Number 7, okay. And this is the circus. This is Julie Switnick. Okay, Switnick. Julie Switnick. Okay. This is her in an exclusive interview that airs 8 p.m. tonight on Showtime. So I want to ask you, what do you think her favorite song is? Okay? And see if you can, let's play Name That Tune. What's her favorite song? All right, stay with me now. Stay with me now. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. What is it? Would her favorite song be The Train Kept a Rolling All Night Long? The train kept a rolling all night long. She attended approximately 10 parties. We have found out that a guy that fooled us all, this Brett Kavanaugh, this guy snowballed us. He got over on the FBI. He has snowballed the entire country through 6 FBI investigations. Why, who would have known just last year as he was on the appeals court bench? Who would have known all this time that this guy kept a pocket full of Quaaludes? That this guy was a druggie, an alcoholic, a drunk, that his high school profession, his side job, was to show up at parties, him and a couple friends, drug the girls up, and take numbers as they put them into rooms with a waiting list. Now serving number 32. Who would have known that from this guy? I tell you what, I have to give it to you. The 4 days of Senate testimony, he had me fooled. I have to give it to you. When Trump introduced the guy and he stood up there with his wife and kids, I got to give it to you. He had me fooled. In fact, he has had so many people fooled throughout the years. Now, this woman claims, Swetnick, that she attended at least 10 parties. So, why does she keep going back to the party? I'm going to scratch my head on that one. And they would take grain alcohol and pour it in the punch. And she attended at least 10. Now, where she says Kavanaugh was at. But she does not allege Kavanaugh ever actually, whatever. This is so low, America. Do you realize the media has spent a year and a half talking about how dirty, how hateful, bullying, all these disgusting things with the President of the United States? Why sometimes you gotta grab them and go, the president said on that famous Entertainment Tonight video. I mean, they have spent almost a year and a half talking about this being the most vile, disgusting president of the United States. This is a president that you would not let your 12-year-old daughter be around, according to Eric Erickson. He didn't even want his daughter around this president of the United States. But this is the same media that has come out and has lowered themselves to scum under a mat. They're that low. To allow this as news. This woman claims 10 parties. She kept going back. I know you say, would you stop saying it? But she kept going back. I mean, what was she saying to her friends? You going to the party? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. There are words for that. So anyhow, we keep having things come out on these people. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to look in the camera, I'm going to tell you, if there's an ounce, 1 ounce of truth to anything, which is not. I don't believe the accusers. I mean, we are supposed to believe them just because. My opinion is the media has hurt the women out there that truly have been attacked and deserve to be heard. Truly have been attacked, and there should be an investigation. Because America, we do not tolerate that. We are not okay with that. And everybody walks on eggshells because we have to say we want to hear them out. I'm going to tell you, I don't think my tax money and your tax money should be spent today. I want to see what it's costing, okay? I don't think our money should be spent today to hear any of these women out. Now, they try to tell you that they deserve their day, okay? We are being told they deserve their day. They deserve their day. We're being told they deserve their day to be heard. Why do we need to put aside time, stop the country when we know you're lying? Period. Okay? And there's no evidence, and there's absolutely nothing to go on. Let me explain something today that like, for example, this lady here that has come out. They're going to say that Christine Blasey Ford, okay, in the testimony today, all right, in the testimony today, let's put up, let's just go ahead and put up number 3 there, okay? But they're going to tell you today, you keep hearing how robotic, okay, Kavanaugh, let me explain something to you, okay? You keep hearing how robotic Kavanaugh was the other night in the Martha McCallum Fox interview. Let me say this. Christine Blasey Ford has nothing to lose. She's being used. Katz, we know out here, we know everything has been put together. We know Katz has represented Switnick in the past. We know Switnick has filed a sexual harassment claim against her former employer and has been has reached a settlement. All right. So we have nothing on any allegation that can even be substantiated. On the other hand, Kavanaugh, every word will be diagnosed, went through, and taken into consideration when he is seated on the bench. What Martha McCallum asked a lot of questions the other night. I understand why she asked the questions, but I understand why Kavanaugh just completely reverted to, it's not true, it's unfounded. I just want a fair process to clear my name. Okay? Under oath, boom. Because Democrats will push him today to say things. This is far from over. Now, if, and I don't know that I believe they will, but if, let's say the Democrats finish up today, Republicans finish up, and Grassley has the guts to call for a vote. Let's say that. Because I think he should call for the vote. I think he should. And when he calls for the vote, I think he should go ahead and they should send it to the floor for the full Senate to vote. I think they should, all right? And I think the full Senate should vote. I don't think McConnell should worry about if he has the votes. And I think the American people should see everybody's true colors on this vote. Even if he goes down, he's not confirmed. I think they should see it. Because one, I'm going to rely on the American people's judgment. Two, if this man is not confirmed, Republicans, Trump supporters are going to blow up. Okay, Grassley and these people better pay attention. They may not like, okay, social media. They may not like you and I telling them something because they don't really care. They say they do. But social media has blown up with Kavanaugh support from women. I'm watching more women post stand with Kavanaugh. More women on social media say, hey, vote for Kavanaugh, support his family, pray for his wife, pray for his children. More women than you would believe on social media. So I'm going to tell you, these ladies do not speak for tens of thousands of millions of whatever women in the United States. They do not. Do not speak for them. Now, go back to that picture, number 7, Switnick, okay? Now, what you are hearing, and I want to tell you the culture that has changed in this country, okay? There used to be an out-and-out fear of lying under oath. Perjury was you had a major fear of perjury and lying under oath. You had a major fear of doing something to lose your security clearance. There used to be a day when there was consequences for lying. There used to be a day when there was consequences for the way that these people are handling things today. You will hear the media say, and the credibility they give this woman is she holds a security clearance. Why, she signed this affidavit. And I'm telling you, it's very serious because she could lose her security clearance. Okay? She could lose her clearance. She signed it. She has a clearance. I mean, that gives her more credibility. Wait a minute. So if she has a security clearance, she was vetted by the FBI, so you're accepting the FBI's comments on this woman to give her a security clearance. And God knows it's got to be credible because she has a security clearance at risk. People, America, President of the United States pulled John Brennan's security clearance and the left went nuts. They went berserk. They went absolutely berserk. The president pulled his security clearance. Let me tell you this. Hillary Clinton taught these women that no matter what they do, they won't lose their security clearance. If you think these people are in fear of losing their security clearance, if you think they're in fear of being prosecuted, if you think they're in fear of any of that, you're sorely mistaken. Hillary Clinton taught them that no matter what you do, don't worry about it. I mean, it's the Hillary Clinton standard. You think this woman's walking around worried about losing her security clearance? Absolutely not. I want to say one more thing before I move on to a couple notes that I have, okay? If the FBI, and I would like for the Democrats to answer this question, because the Democrats will go after Kavanaugh today, okay? Let me go back to the robotic statement. They will go after him today, all right? The reason he was robotic, he will look robotic today, is because everything Kavanaugh says can come up in a case on the Supreme Court, okay? He has to treat, the other night with Martha McGowan, he has to treat today as if he is still in Supreme Court confirmation hearing. Okay? So the media will try to spin it that this is to see, if we believe this lady, not this one here, Christina Blasey Ford, that will be up, do we believe her or Brett Kavanaugh? So when Christine Blasey Ford comes in, she can lie for 4 hours. She could talk however she wants for 4 hours. She could say she heard it from a friend. She could, play the, the Little River Band or whoever they are. Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another. You've been messing around. Can you believe that? This is high school. Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another. You've been messing around. What the hell? That's what you have. Read it. Don't make fun of me. Read it. We have an anonymous told an anonymous, and it's in the New York Times. It's on the media. The media is reporting it. We have a lady that has been on the train 10 times. The media is reporting it. We have a lady up there, wherever she's at, Romero's, that had the sex toys dangled all over her. I think the question Democrats should ask themselves today is what kind of damn FBI do we have that's done 6 investigations on Brett Kavanaugh that missed all this? I mean, as bad as Kavanaugh was, because is now. Why, I would like to know the day, that Brett Kavanaugh woke up and said to Judge, remember, this is the other guy, and the other guy has written the Daily Caller, he has written conservative columns, so I know why they want Mark Judge. They want him bad, all right, and why they're not picking out others, okay, because he supposedly was in the room. Okay, we can't get anybody supposedly at the party. When she ran out of the room, down the hall, and locked herself in the bathroom, where is one person that said, what happened? Wait a minute. So, anyhow, I want to know when Brett Kavanaugh decided to go straight. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. If any of this is true, hell, I don't want him on the bench. I mean, it's unthinkable what this boy has done. I mean, according to them, there should be somebody the FBI bumped into. A good friend of mine called me yesterday and said, you know, I had a background check. I had to have security clearance to work at NASA. That's right. So I get a phone call and said, you know, I had to have a security clearance to work at NASA. And I was shocked later to find out how the FBI went to my neighborhood where I grew up, from neighbors to teachers to whatever. I was shocked at the people they went and talked to. I just couldn't believe it. So 6 times. Democrats, you need to ask yourself, what kind of FBI do we have? In fact, what has the FBI let slide through? I mean, what did they let slide through with Kagan or Ginsburg, or what have they let slide through? Oh, and then what about all of the people in the Clinton administration that could not get an FBI clearance at all? Could not get clearance. Could not have clearance at all, really, to work in the White House. And why early on in the Trump administration was people like Jared Kushner and people like that working with a partial clearance? Because they weren't done. They gave them a partial clearance. So I would like common sense to prevail, and I'd like you to ask yourself some of these questions out there, America. Why didn't the FBI just bump into one teacher in high school and say, you know, that judge and Kavanaugh were a problem. They were smart asses. Those little smart ass Catholic kids. In fact, rumor is, why didn't they find somebody? Why didn't somebody else at the train party where the punch and the grain alcohol and the lewds and everything, that would be quaaludes for those of you that don't understand what a lewd is. Okay, why not bump into one person? Let me give you a couple things here this morning. Let's go to number one, because we got to go to break here real quick, and we're going to come back to these. Kavanaugh's old girlfriend and Kane. Allegations are outrageous and false. These are friends, lifelong friends. Let's go to number two. All right. Number two, 60 of his high school friends pen a letter defending Kavanaugh. 60 of his high school friends pen a letter. Okay. Now, the lady that is coming today at your taxpayer's expense, that doesn't like to fly, but I understand flew across the country to get the polygraph test. But the lady that's coming today, okay, to testify to that horrific moment has 4 corroborating she told somebody. And that's getting more weight with the media than 60. 4 to 60. And these 4 say they corroborate that Christine Blasey Ford told them about the incident. They don't corroborate the incident. I read her opening statement, folks. I read that opening statement at 4 o'clock this morning. She will discuss going to the country club every day that summer. You don't know who these kids are. Even on the Kavanaugh side, these are country club kids, right? She's going to discuss going to the country club. She's going to discuss how she went to a Catholic girls' school, he went to a Catholic, and she's going to tell you about the different schools in the area where the boys and girls did like to get together. She's going to tell you at 15 years old, she drank a beer. A beer. I don't know, was that her first, her last, when she quit drinking, when she started drinking? 14. She's going to tell you she went to the club every day, the country club, and she practiced her diving. And afterwards, it wasn't uncommon for some of them to get together and have a party at someone's house. Okay, she's going to tell you about, I think, 6 people in the house and 3 of them. She's going to tell you about being running out of the room, locking herself in the bathroom. She's not going to tell you about others that were not there, Mark, Judge, and the others that were there, consoling her and say, what's the matter? What happened? Why are you so upset? None of that's going to happen, folks. None of that's going to happen. Let me go to something else. I got to go to break because it is time for Carla's Corner. Let's go to number 4. Now, they have been in the Senate. They've been investigating this. 2 men hint they were mistaken for Kavanaugh. They may have been the guys at the party. Now, let's go to number 5. The FBI's ability to sift through evidence. Now, wait a minute. If their FBI's ability to sift through evidence, and you keep asking for these FBI investigations with the allegations that are being made, are you going to tell me in 6 times the FBI did not bump into one person? Not one anywhere that heard anything? Especially not just the Christine Blasey Ford, but this latest one with Swickney, whatever her name is, where she attended 10 parties, okay, where there were drugs and Kavanaugh and them were giving them out and they were gang raping women, but she kept going back to the party, 10 of them, right? So all I got to say is, so what she's trying to tell you is that there was grain, alcohol, and punch. Around 1981, 82, don't know how I know, but we called that Purple Jesus, okay? PJ. So you're going to mix PJ. We get together at a party. Who's bringing what? Are we going to mix PJ tonight? Just saying. You can get mad at me if you want, man. It's the real world. I lived in the real world, okay? Way before MTV brought it out, okay? So PJ, who's mixing that? And so you didn't have a friend say, hey, 1981, does anybody have any lewds? Hey, get real, folks, because this is all fabricated. It's all made up. It's all an illusion. And maybe before it's over, Puff the Magic Dragon will enter into the story. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a break. We come back. It's time for Carla's Corner, and then we'll be back at 9, the top of the hour. And don't forget, we're going to be bringing these live testimony here on Capitol Hill. We're going to be bringing them to you live at 9:45 this morning, so don't leave. We'll be back after these messages.